Hey everyone, this is Julia, and you are listening to Women in Dancehall, a podcast where I sit down with female dancehall dancers and discuss their dance journey, mindset, challenges they've been through, and everything when it comes to being a woman in a dancehall scene. So today with me is dancehall queen Olga. I'm very, very excited to have you with me today. So if you don't know, Olga is a big deal. She's been dancing dancehall for more than 11 years. She's dancehall queen Greece. She's a winner of Dancehall Mecca 2024 in Jamaica. So that's a lot of titles. You guys have to be excited to hear more from her today. So hi, how are you today?
Thank you, first of all, so much for the invitation, Julia. It's a big pleasure for me to have a beautiful conversation with you about the most important topic for me, which is females in dancehall scene. My name is Olga. I am from Greece, as you already said. I'm 25 years old, and I have been in contact with dancehall around 11 years. I have been traveling to Jamaica, trying to bring some people in Europe for classes and stuff in my country, in Europe, I mean. And the biggest dream I had on my mind is to create a small, or as the days will go on, a bigger event only from females
Yeah.
from Jamaica, that they will be able from different generations give their all to the women in Europe, but from also from all over the world, that they want to learn about dancehall and about everything that dancehall can give to a woman's life.
Amazing. And I feel like you are such a perfect guest for the podcast and the topic that I discuss because you like fully focused on female dancehall. You try to bring women together, create events just for women. And I believe this is something that we all need, especially, with how competitive the community can be, with how difficult it could be to, get recognition and everything. So yeah, we'll really, me personally, I believe other people really appreciate what you're doing for the culture and for the European dancehall scene as well. Just to get to know you a little bit better and hear more about your background. So this is a question I genuinely interested to know from many dancers I speak to. So how did it start for you? So how was you introduced to dancehall? Do you remember maybe the first ever moment when you were just like, oh wow, this is interesting?
Yeah, I remember it was a friend at my school that I've met a girl that started teaching dancehall back in days in Athens. So that friend of mine was competing in the very first dancehall competition in Athens, Greece. If I am not wrong, this was January or February 2013 that Sarah Gamnem created the first dancehall event in Greece called Tenitop, and as a guest, Cameron Wansot from France. I entered that place, which was an underground vibe, and I was doing Latin and belly dance back in the days. So I were in a totally different style, and so many different personalities and faces and bodies, males and females, different ages. And I think that the fact that everybody was just himself and not being in the box that other not street styles, that other styles are putting you to be in,
Yeah.
I was shocked by how free they would looking. And of course, the music was from before, something that I had on my playlists, like, I really loved music, but I had no idea what kind of music it was. So the very first recognition of what dancehall is was at the event where I want to support the friend, and I entered the room with versatility in Greece, that this didn't happen before, in my eyes at least.
Yeah, makes sense. So I feel like this is the best way to be introduced to dancehall, to be in the community of people,
Mhm.
see how they interact, what they're doing. Just is it could be a festival, could be a party, but I feel like this is something when you're just like, okay, so that's how it makes me feel, right? And
Yeah.
I can relate a lot because it's also for me, it was also 2013 and it was also a dance event. So I was just like, I just want to do same thing that this, women
Mhm.
are doing on the dance floor. Like, wow, everyone's so excited. So I can relate a lot um, to the vibe and atmospheres that you experienced, and then you're just like, well, I want to feel it again, right? So this is something
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
follow this feeling and just make it a part of my life. Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong. I do feel like you mostly focused on dancehall queen style and female dancehall, and when
Mhm.
you've been on the scene for so long, obviously that you can dance everything. It can be old school, middle school, new school, social dance, badman, and all of it. Was it always just female dancehall that attracted you the most, or did you switch more to dancehall queen style at some point of your dance journey?
I think it started like this because I was always very connected to the feminine part of inside of me,
Yeah.
but I didn't really know how to translate it outside from me. Because in female dancehall, I found other qualities from Latin or belly dance or other styles that I have danced before, a bit more rough and more loud, but in a very, very good way. That you do not need to be in this specific part that they put you, but you can do anything you want. So like dancehall female opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel that a big role to that was cell expressions because the very first class I did on the female part was taught by her in Greece. Straight the next year after that event, the organizer did it again and she brought Shelly Orville and Global Bob. Again, if I'm not wrong, because it's a lot of years before. But I remember Sally's body, Sally's movement, Sally's word about everything she was giving. And I was a 14-year-old insecure teenager in Greece.
Oh, that's young.
That I was around a lot of women that I could feel that I was admiring everybody, but I never felt that I am someone in my female energy. Even if I was dancing beautiful, the previous styles, and I was feeling good, something was missing so much. And I feel that I started understanding what it is when Sally started whining.
Mm, I know what
Maybe
you're talking about.
maybe some people will feel that this is too much, but I know that most of the female dancehall dancers have experienced this kind of feeling with
Yeah,
a woman in the beginning of their journey.
yeah, yeah.
For
And
me, it was Shelly.
it's very interesting because, we do not know each other personally. We never met face to face, but I can sense the vibe and I can understand what the person, is attracted to and what is important for another person just by, following them on social media or maybe seeing
Mhm.
them perform. And I've seen you perform on DHQ Mecca and on International Dancehall Queen contests. And I even wrote down the question. I wanted to ask it a little bit later on the podcast, but I'm just like, okay, we're already talking about it, so let me ask it right now. So without even knowing that you're a fan of Shelley and everything, I was just like, it seemed to me that you're more like an old school soul in a way when it comes to music, when it comes to movements, when it comes to just being in dance hall and how you feel. And when I first came to Child Expression workshop, I remember it. We didn't do much, it was just whining. And she said to us, uh, if you dance in female style, if you dance in dance hall, the only one move you always have to work on and you will never be perfect in is whine. And we were just whining for hours, and I'm just like, I know how to whine, show us some moves and everything. But then the more we whine, the more time we spend on whining, the more I felt like I actually don't know how.
Mhm.
It feels like, the more you're doing it, the last is just like
Yeah.
feeling of it you have. And I'm just like, okay, it makes sense. And then I linked it to your performances when I saw you in Jamaica last year dancing to Vibes Cartel song to Enchanting. Like this girl took this advice and I was just like, and that looks so good. You know, sometimes less is more. And I'm just like, I like that you bring the energy, like you calm and confident at the same time. And I feel like a lot of women, or a lot of girls who dance dancehall, they rush into movements, they rush into performing, catching the song, and you just someone who had this, you know, presence, and you just calm and confident and like deep inside. This is what dancehall is about. A feeling inside of you that even if I do nothing, even if I just stay on the stage and do nothing, the energy is still here, you know?
Thank you for this big compliment, because to be honest, I feel that I have tried to block a lot of information outside of my head so I will be able to breathe and whine, because especially in the competition parts, as you mentioned now, most of the girls, and I don't say it for bad, because if there is a competition, you feel you must do your best and you feel you must be on the final or win or whatever. So you are putting a lot of pressure on you, and we fully forget to represent what we love or represent what we would like to bring to the table because other people are doing. I feel when Sally whines, the time stops, the earth stops going around. When Mara Hammer enters an instrumental, my eyes can just disappear, and they are only using their waistline movement. It's amazing for someone to do steps with so big energy, big movements, different qualities. Is really interesting to know how everyone will go on different moods of attitude. Is super exciting to see the tricks.
Yeah.
Super exciting, super, uh, you are speechless most of the times. But I have never felt anything strongest than when I see Jamaican women just vibing with their waistline on the beat.
Sure.
And I have been always loved more this kind of practice and this kind of connection with the music. So I felt that if I want to enter that place more, why not? And it's okay if the other person that we will need to compare between of us, maybe in one round or more, it's okay the different personalities, because if you see also the Jamaican women, especially if you remember your first trip, because I'm always trying to remember my first trip when I saw them for the first time,
Yeah.
it so many different personalities. So for me, the most difficult part is to find who I want to be and not how can I copy everybody's super skills so I will have everything. I don't want to do that. And I cannot do that because there are thousands of talented people. And to be honest, I'm also in a part of my life that I prefer to breathe and relax mentally. I
Yeah.
mean, for sure, not physically, because there are a lot of stuff to do, especially these months. But mentally, I would like to have a kind of peace that I support only what I feel is me, for
Yeah.
me. And then maybe my best friend will be a dancer that wants to do only tricks and sharp movements, and I will be shocked by her talent, but I will not be entering that part if I don't feel to. If I feel to, I will try my best on different qualities, but I feel that identity is such a strong and important part for every single dancer or any dancing style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I agree that whining is the best thing in the world. And for sure, on female is the most important move.
Yeah, I don't know if you believe in it, but it also holds like a spiritual meaning to it because, women power is in the hips. So when you move your hips, you heal your body from the past traumas that you bring with you in this life from other generations. I do believe in it, and this is a
Mhm.
great way you practice, you dance, but at the same time you heal your body. So I feel like what you feeling, what all of us feeling has more than just dance to it, or more than just, music or move. So yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, there are so many like thoughts and emotions come up because I so much on the same page with you with everything you have to say. And I feel like when you have the mindset that I know my strength, I know my weaknesses, and I work on what is comfortable for me, and what is mine will come to me anyway. This is the mindset that a confident person first has. And the other thing is, I understand why you are dancehall queen. Because if you don't have this mindset, if you just, follow the fame, just if you want to, hear a lot of positive reinforcement from other people, that's a wrong approach. And being a queen is something more than that. I know that we're talking within dance, but this is the same in life. So I fully understand that if you want to win contests, if you want to be, the best of the best within this amazing women, it's more than just skills. It's also
Mm,
how you feel, what do you believe in, uh,
yeah.
do you know yourself, right? So this is a lot of like inner work, I believe, that has to be done. And closer to the topic that you just started to discuss, when it comes to competing in contests, I know that you have like a good experience in it. Could you tell us or maybe guide us through your like preparation process? Like how much
Yes.
time does it take? What it consists of? Like what maybe you have successful and unsuccessful cases so you can judge from your own
Yeah.
like do this and do not do that.
First of all, I want to say that the two biggest competitions I have entered was the Queens on Top in Portugal, which started from Greece, and then it was Queen of Mecca International also in Jamaica. So both competitions have as faced dancehall queen Ale Vanille, and before I start saying everything, I want to give a huge respect to her because without Ale, I would have not had a reason to start finding me. And I know that this sounds huge, but anything I tried to find all these years for my personality started from the competitions. Because it's what you said that then you start getting very deep on everything if you really care and love what you do. So first of all, I owe to Ale and to everyone that is in this organization so much because it was a long trip from Greece. I entered first time 2018 with only whining, I swear. There are some videos in YouTube. If you check, I do nothing else. I only whine. I do nothing else. um, so last competition was my first dancehall queen competition was 2018, and the last one was 1 month before in Jamaica. So first thing I always do is to have all the rounds in front of me. Some people work good with computer. I always need pen and paper. I prefer that. And I try to make everything look beautiful, like with the colors and everything. I feel that anything you touch and anything you put your energy to, if you want it to feel beautiful and look beautiful at the end, you need to give beauty from the beginning in anything you do. So maybe my little blocks, little books for the competitions is like glittery colors and blah, blah, blah. So I start taking the rounds one by one and try to imagine how I could see myself on that round. So if it's presentation round, for example, which is usually the first in Dancehall Queen competitions, I try to see for that day of the competition, how do I see myself energy-wise? Do I see me more wild and loud? Do I see me more sweet and spicy? Do I have any specific theme that I want to bring to the table? For example, when I went first time in Jamaica to compete, I was like, okay, is the first time that I go to Jamaica to compete. What could they know about Greece? Could they know maybe one thing about the 12 gods, for example, of Olympus or something? So I really wanted to put a bit of our energy, but in their thing, and not to mix the cultures in a weird way, but to mix the Greek identity. Because I love Jamaican culture, and at the same time, I think it's really important from us to show them a part of our culture too. Because at the same time, we are people, we have a strong background. Everybody has a strong background. So it's really important to show at the States, who are you? This is what they are asking also at represent yourself rounds, for example. So that year I was feeling very strong that I should do a goddess from Greece and try to show them what they were wearing, how were their hair, if this can be connected to dancehall in any way and how could it be. So in terms of the concepts and everything, I think that very helpful is to step back and try to imagine how you could see yourself on that day. Because there is not only one mood that you can express yourself. You can go in 2,000 different concepts and kill them with your personality. Then a big deal is knowledge rounds, which is a concept also that Ale created with Queens on Top. Stress and excitement, because knowledge and whining had always been my favorite rounds in competitions. Knowledge, I think, needs years to build it. So everybody that is focusing on dancehall, I think that have these little books or papers all over the house that they have steps, creators, when they did it, where they did it. I'm talking, of course, for the people that are learning from the source and not from social media. It will be very clear for whoever listens to it, but yes, most of the people that are doing and studying about dancehall, they will have all these papers. So the best thing is to collect everything together. Maybe papers will be writing creator, all these steps, and then you have them in the specific row in playlist. Or not specific row, but I'm a Virgo, so some things are a little bit too much on my organization parts. But it helps to have everything together, and especially in knowledge parts. Even if you will not know a lot of information in terms of steps, it's good to practice also if you can understand the lyrics, because there are some songs that they are giving more simple instructions, or they have some steps that they would have heard before and stuff. So it's good to practice only with the music at the same time. But it needs a lot of classes from Jamaicans or people from Europe that you are sure that they can give you the right information. And then it's up to anybody how their mind and brain can work to take all this information that they will already have or search for it. For me, Instagram will always only help to double check if the move you have is that move on that song or of that creator. Because I know that is so simple for everybody to search on hashtag, for example, happy juke, and then they have the move and then they copy the move. Is so better not to copy and learn from Happy Feet. But if you don't remember what Happy Juke is, you can go back there so you can see Happy Feet doing it and just take all the information again together. It can give hours, but I feel that if you are into dancehall, you will be enjoying it.
I watched your performances from Dancehall Mecca, and I do feel like your inspiration for one of the round was Dancehall Queen Carleen and her image and outfit from Murder She Wrote video clip. Is it correct? The golden one with the shoes.
From last year?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. It was connected to that.
Mm-hmm.
And also last year, see, it was the first year that we started collaborating on few things to bring her in Greece.
Yeah.
So she had given me few specific advices for any competition I want to enter. Which, since you mentioned her now, the first one was that try to go on how it started. And when women started the dancehall female and dancehall queen competitions, they were always looking stunning. The outfit was the first thing that you could see before they start whining. So for them, in the real way, it's so important to go and be dressed as a queen. Which, to be honest, I fully love this. At the same time, I love the girls that they feel so comfortable to go with a t-shirt and one color shorts in any kind of competition. But I would love to see this mostly in the battles and see every girl in queen contests as a queen. This doesn't mean that they need to wear gold, but it's good to represent themselves beautifully from the outfits. It doesn't need to be something expensive. Let's say this too, because the whole process to go in a dancehall queen competition will be expensive. The clothes, the accessories, the hair, anything, the props, anything else you will need to do. Let's not mention tickets to go and blah, blah, blah. A big deal. So for me, it's important to see what you would want to do, and you can also bring a lot of stuff from your closet together, and you will have a beautiful result. Because this was the only round that I had unprepared the clothes, and I fixed it the last night
Wow.
from a lot of different stuff. But I was like, what will I wear? What will I wear? I want it to be something that I will feel good. So last night, with a friend that was also with me for that competition, I tried to put a lot of stuff. So I know that every dancer, female dancer, will have a lot of stuff in her closet, so she will not need to be stressed to find something too much and give money also to these things. It
Yeah.
just need a lot of inspiration, maybe from pictures from dancehall queens back in the days
Agree.
or anything else. I think that social media can give you unlimited information. So
Yeah.
you can have any picture you can imagine in your mind already.
Yeah. When I started even being interested in dancehall queen style, the first thing I did is went on YouTube and started watching contests. It was such a different vibe. It was maybe less props, more knowledge, more personality and outfits. Maybe this is something that's missing from the stage right now, but at the same time, we see like the development of the movement and how the dance is getting sometimes more important than how you look like. But the dancers who gonna get back to the source will always be someone you would like to pay attention to most, right? Or will be inspired most. Dance cooking contests give you so much in terms of, experience, knowledge, challenge yourself, and just, it's absolutely different vibe. It has nothing to do with just go and dance battles or try to compete in regular competitions. It's absolutely different level. And, as back in the days, it was more like a beauty contest as well in some sense. And I don't know if you had the chance, but I've been participating in beauty contests before, and this is very similar idea. Preparing looks, preparing this, how you're going to talk, what you're going to do, and uh, this is just a beauty contest, but in Jamaican way, you know.
In a very Jamaican way.
And it's funny, I won this beauty contest, and you know what I did when they had a talent part? I was dancing dancehall. So dancehall helped me to win the beauty contest. I mean, obviously, no one could shake the booty at that time. So
Mhm.
I do believe as dancer of any style, if you're doing it properly and if you're involved, you do have a dance character. So it can be something absolutely different from how you feel or represent yourself in real life. And I feel this is kind of mood and image you enter once you get on stage or once you start, dancing in front of people, jam battles, doesn't matter. So if it's something that you can relate to, could you describe this character of yours that you enter when you dance hall? Maybe you have a nickname to it. Sometimes people call it specific name. So I had a little bit of background in Crump, so I was in the Crump community, and they have very, very similar idea of, creating an image of him or herself, calling a specific name, practicing it, how they talk, how they move. So it's a big deal. It's kind of like a performance in the theater in some sense,
Mhm.
right? But in dance. So can you relate to it? And if yes, can you describe what's your character in dance is?
To be honest, I didn't ever try to put specific words on that, on something. I have been always feeling that the most big emotions that I always have inside of me is the sensitivity and the strength. I am too emotional.
Yeah.
I'm crying maybe every day.
Healthy. This is healthy.
Yes. I love crying. And maybe someone will feel that this girl is depressed or this girl is stupid that she can openly say it like this.
Yeah.
I feel relieved. Is the way for me to send away bad energy, stress, sadness, or anything. So I can maybe cry if something happened to me or a friend or a family member, or I can cry because I felt that is too much stress on me, or I can cry from a video on Instagram. So,
Don't
um,
be ashamed. We're all doing it.
yes, no, I'm not, to be honest, at all. I feel free that I can say it also out loud because I feel sometimes that these have helped me so much for the competition parts. Because if you try to put a specific personality, to put your personality in a specific way only for dancing, it can work, but I don't really feel that it will be fully authentic. The separation of dancing life and real life is something that a lot of people are doing it more clear. I don't think I have done it very clear so far in my life.
Mm.
I know that on the dancing part, I am not shy. In my life, I can be very shy sometimes, but I feel that my dancing life helped me to build my not dancing character. I don't know if
Okay.
it makes sense,
It does.
but
Yes. I like it that you divert it a bit, but it does make so much sense because I've seen in real life how just, competing, dancing, trying something new brings a lot of like confidence in your day-to-day life. So there are situations that you would feel, awkward or anything else, but dancehall just brings you this belief in yourself, right? And having this safe space when you know that you will always be accepted and supported, and there are so many like-minded people, it just gives you this inner strength to, go and fight battles in your real life when it comes to work, day-to-day struggles or some, misunderstandings, whatever can happen in life. It's these two parts kind of complementing each other in a healthy way. And I do like that you do not separate it, because it just highlights how important the dance hall is.
Yeah, I fully agree with everything. Like you fully get what I mean. And I feel maybe it's very similar for you to explain it that.
No, not at all. I'm very like, this is Julia working and this is Julia dancing. So this is
Okay.
different personalities. And once in my life, I was talking to my therapist and I said, I do feel like I have bipolar disorder. And she just like, no, you don't. You just have two very, very separate life. And, I work in finance. So it's like I do have a
Mhm.
serious job. And then I go into dance hall parties. So these two worlds that sometimes cannot exist together. And sometimes you get a bit in your head, just like, ooh.
You need to separate them at that point. You need to separate them. And it makes so much sense. But I feel that how it went for me, it was from the beginning very smooth because, as I told you before, I used to be very insecure. And one of the reasons I know that women in Jamaica maybe would never imagine what I say. One of the reasons is because I had always in my body bigger hips and booty. But in my country,
I
this
know.
was not beautiful as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, I could hear so many words that I'm not complaining for me. Everything I say is for all the girls and the boys that have heard not nice things for their bodies. And I want to explain how grateful I am for dancehall for saving me from toxicity of close-minded people. So my body was always a bit bigger on the down part, not like today, was way less. Because till I was 17 or 18 years old, I was 30 kilos less. Because I don't have no more my thyroid when I was.
But me too.
Yes,
Can we please talk about it?
what? I didn't know.
Yeah, oh my God, I struggled for the last year. I'm allergic to food. I cannot eat properly. I'm losing weight because I cannot eat a lot of food. So it's just like super bad. Getting better now, but I'm just like, the moment I hear someone struggles with the same thing, I just like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about it.
But my point on that was that even before the problem with my thyroid, I was always feeling because the beauty standards were the very slim girl and the guy can look however it is. So you would always see beautiful Greek women next to men with huge bellies, no hair, and tiri. Is my people, there is no problem on that, but is problem on that because you cannot bully the girls and let the men do anything they want. So I felt that Shelly again, by bringing her beautiful body, healthy, strong, amazing body, I felt that I was falling in love with the women um, looks,
Yeah.
but not how a woman looks, but on the way that I can look as a woman, that the woman doesn't need to be only this option that they have given me in my mind so far.
Mm-hmm.
So then from the whole movement and everything, I started feeling that, okay, here you are. Also, at the same time, most of the people that they were dancing dancehall in Greece were looking more slim, more this, more that. So I started being the girl that, oh, we have a thick one doing whining or something, you
I
know?
do it.
So I was like, and they are saying it for good. So my mind was starting being a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
Because in school, I had the word fat ass as a bad thing, and in dancing, we had the word fat ass as a beautiful thing. And I was like,
Who am
is this okay? Is this not? Should I be happy? Should I not be happy?
Yeah.
And it was too much information on that.
Yeah.
In the sensitive years as a teenager. So, to be honest, I started feeling only better by these days. That I don't care if it's get any part of my body, if it gets smaller, if it gets bigger, but at the same time, I had so much stress on that. Till I got 17 and I had cancer on my thyroid, so I needed to take everything out of my body. And I gained more than 30 kilos. Because if you see photos from before, you will maybe not recognize me. And this was the point that I had to love me. I had no other option because before I was feeling that if I do this or if I do that or if I do it in a specific way, I will be able to love me.
Yeah.
But all the thoughts were super wrong.
I'm
Super
like, oh my gosh, I cannot. I want to cry. Yeah,
wrong.
I'm very happy that you're healthy now, but is it like just from my personal question, is it like in remission right now? Like what is the current?
No, is nothing. The cancer on thyroid, as I know, is the less serious cancer that a human body can have. It doesn't need, most of the times, okay, chemo or something like this. So it has nothing to do with other therapies that people that are suffering from cancer have to deal with. So I didn't need to deal with none of these things. And I'm very grateful for that because I know from a lot of people of my life that is mentally, physically, and in all of the different things hard. So I needed to do some treatments and stuff, but nothing that annoys me now or anything else except the hormones that I'm sure you know that. Like I still need and I will forever be taking one pill every day. So my nerves and all the female stuff inside my body will be working properly. Then the biggest thing was like, okay, everybody in Greece saying you are fat and you have no dancers to look up to that they are fat and they are succeeding things. But look at Jamaican women. So, and I am not calling by these Jamaican women fat. I am saying that I feel accepted by another culture in a very sensitive topic like dancing because they accept everyone, even if it's slim, fat, tall, super short, with thousands of pimples, with glasses, with blue hair, with no hair, with one ear. You know, they accept on the dancing part everyone. This is how I feel. And the best gift I could give to myself after having all these health issues was to go to Jamaica. So my first trip to Jamaica was when I was 19. And when I saw at the parties 1,000 bodies like Sally's, Katie's, Latonia's, and everybody else, which is the most beautiful dancehall bodies in my eyes,
You're like, I'm home. I'm
I
staying.
was like, I don't see the reason to go home. What was the reason to go back home? And it was not, this was a personal thing. It was different thing from the love of dancing dancehall. Was a kind of love or you can be accepted. You are not in the environment of yours. You don't need to be accepted there, even if you want it. So you can dance with more weight. But Greek people cannot support that thought. So if you want to do it, just take your thought and go back and plant it. So maybe the next generation of fat girls will be your students because they will have an option to dance somewhere. And It's super funny. I don't even like to talk a lot with people about that because I feel there is no way to save our country from this mentality. We don't know what is going on with the other people's life. You don't know if he or she prefer to look like this, if he's struggling to look better or different, if he has energy inside of that body to live. Because for me, when I was getting fatter and fatter every week, I didn't eat and I was feeling dizzy because I didn't want to gain more things.
It's also very difficult for men to understand in the first place because they do have absolutely different hormones inside of them, level of hormones. So I get what you mean. So thyroid can fuck up so many things in your body. Literally everything depends on this one little gland, and this is ridiculous. I didn't know it myself. And it's a connection between thyroid, your guts, the microbiome in your guts, and everything else. And when you have inflammation in your thyroid, you have inflammation in your brain as well, in your nerves, and it's like your whole system is like collapsing like second by second, and you have no control over it. And it can lead to anxiety, depression, whatever. So, I mean, I'm reading and studying a lot of things about that because I'm experiencing a lot of this myself. So I can only imagine how difficult it is, not only, feeling physical pain, having emotional pain, but also see that your body changes and you have no control over it. It's the immune system attacking my own organs, and whatever the reason, still there is no like one or two explanations to what can happen, but it's a lot to handle, like emotionally, physically, on every level. So I absolutely get what you mean, and I'm sorry that you had to go through this. But sometimes when you do go through struggle and difficult times, you cannot understand, why it's happening to me, like why me, and blah blah blah. But when you get on the other side, you just like, oh, that's why. I had
Yes.
to go through the difficult times to get where
Yes.
I am now, maybe get more confident, maybe understand more about my body, maybe connect with my body more.
I fully agree with what you said. But when you go on the other side, maybe thyroid will be your ticket to the other side. For us, I think is a very good ticket. Yes. For other people, maybe it will be something else in their life that will make them feel that I'm on the other side now when this thing finishes or go in a specific, flow. That at one point you are like, I needed that. If you have some weeks, months, or whatever, feeling that you are close to go crazy from the hormones, and when it's years that you are trying to make it in balance, you feel very sensitive on how to deal with these things. But till when you find a small routine that will be helping you, if you start massaging a brain a little bit that it is what it is, it cannot change, you cannot have something that magically will say that, okay, this part of my story is cancelled, so I'm gonna be good. I think it's something fully personal for everyone that I wish that we will keep having the strength to just see what is going on.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I do have even more respect and everything for you now because like knowing the background, knowing like what you've been through and still, fighting every day and still perform on such, amazing level. That's a lot to deal with on daily basis. And, you know, um we see like a good part of it. We do see success stories on in social media. We do see the contests, and we talk to people when they're in a good mood. But I believe it's also important to share like not the bad side, but the difficult part of the journey, because everyone going through it one way or another, and just knowing that this person deal with this and that and still could do it, So, okay, I can do it as well, because this is not just me who fighting against all this, difficulties. It's all of us. It's just like somehow we don't want to talk about it.
I feel that people that are into seeing how to do stuff, maybe they will be inspired mostly from these stories. Everybody needs a little bit of this and a little bit of that to continue life. So I love that you're doing this podcast and bring feelings, real feelings, deep feelings on that, because without our background, we are not just the practice we do, is the whole background that if you don't care, you don't take care of that, you will not be connected to you, so you will not be able to fuck up the stage. You will not be able to be the authentic version of you. So this is why I feel that is so more important to take all these things out, express them, talk about them, and find a way to include them in your personality in dancing.
True, true. Yeah, accept not only the good parts of yourself, but also the ones
Yes.
you don't like that much. This is huge, and I believe this is a lot of people struggle with, myself as well included.
If we pick to leave a part of us on the side, maybe it will come on the wrong time.
It's gonna knock on your head
Yes,
day and
yes,
night. So one
yes.
way or another, you're gonna start listening to it.
It's
Yeah.
gonna knock before the competition start, it's gonna knock one day before you go at the competition, or it's gonna knock before an important event of yours. It will be there because you preferred to give it a name and call it an enemy. I'm sure because of you just said you are doing also therapy, because I'm doing also therapy years now. Um, and is something I would suggest to everybody in this world, dancer, non-dancer, I don't care at this point. If you give it a name and you put it on the side, is an enemy, and the enemy will know where to come and fuck you. For me, it have been this kind of enemy at the time I was performing in finals, and
Mm,
I could hear the enemy I named. That was that I'm in a period of my time that I don't have enough of physical power. And if I enter that part, I will not be able to give that much power. So the only thing that I was listening in my mind these 2 minutes of the final was like, you don't have a lot of power today.
I know what you're talking about. It's like I can relate a lot because I'm doing good. The moment I enter the final, I don't believe in myself anymore. I'm just like, I got here, but it's like I call it self-sabotage. So you sabotaging your own self for the sake of these crazy thoughts that you have in your mind if you don't deal with them. So
Yeah.
I get what you mean. It takes a lot of kind of courage and effort to do that. And yeah, I love that we discuss the mental health because this is huge and this is important and this is everywhere and you cannot just, in 2025, you cannot just think, I don't need therapy.
No,
Honestly.
no, you will need, especially if you say you will not, you don't need therapy, you need for sure.
Yeah. I mean, just out of curiosity, just go and see what's up. Yeah.
And also is a thing that can take you to the next step, not only heal trauma, but take you to the next step. So if you're from the people that you will always want to go better in life, you will need it.
Yeah. Part of self-development, one way or another. It's not only about taking classes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to talk. Absolutely. Yeah. So I would like to finish the conversation and ask you, feel free to promote it. So I know that you bring in Dancehall Queen Caroline again to Europe, and I know that you're doing women only event in Greece. Just tell us more.
Yes, perfect. From last year, I started an event in Greece called The Goddess Herself, which the name was inspiration from my first round in Mecca on 2022. I felt that the word goddess can represent the word queen in a different way. in most spiritual and maybe old school way. And what I want for this event is to have Dancehall Queen Carlene as the face of the event for every single year. And hopefully this will be able to go on, because Jamaica is a place that sometimes is not very, very easy to bring people to Europe, or maybe also sometimes on the organizers part this can happen. But I have on my mind that I want to keep this project with Dancehall Queen Carlene every year and bring her in Europe every year. This year we're gonna do a small tour also for her since she's coming back. And the event will be this April, the second weekend, 12 and 13 of April 2025 in Athens, Greece. And is also 33 years from the celebration of her crown, from the very first day of crowning, and is the same day, 12th of April.
Wow.
Are double happy for that because things are connecting. Like last year was only Dancehall Queen Carlene because I wanted to give some space only to the mother of dancehall, to give a lot of different classes that people will have the opportunity to take all this information, but only for once. This year, alongside Dancehall Queen Carlene, we're gonna have Silly Expressions that I already talked about her a lot in the podcast, and Happy Feet. I want to have Jamaican women teaching all the dancehall styles. So maybe we will have 5 classes, 2 or 3 of them will be female, but the rest of them will be old school male, maybe bogles, moves, or it can be mid-school energy or Batman style, because there are Jamaican women that they can teach us everything. And I know that is very hard for them to leave Jamaica for Europe tours or to leave the kids, because remember that even if men have kids and they need to take care of the kids, a mom is never leaving. So when they need to leave, the process is fully different. And as women in Europe, I cannot understand why can't we not see the huge unbalanced thing between how many opportunities Jamaican men have and how many opportunities Jamaican women have. So I would love for them, for men, to keep having all their opportunities, all of them, all of them. But I would love to start giving more to women. And again, a huge respect to Ale, because I feel that she started with Queens on Top, bringing so many females, giving us the opportunity to learn from them and to meet them from close. So it's a huge inspiration for me. And I feel that the next step should be to give them the space to teach us everything because they know how to do it. Happy Fit is gonna give a mixed class. So she will have a 2 hours class, but she will put on that both female and male energy. And the reason is that I want to start with a mix and start having a bit feedback from the women that they will be joining the event to see if this is something that can be start taking place. It will happen, but I want to see how people will feel around this kind of idea.
I love it a lot. I love the idea. I feel like we need people who understand it, who bring these opportunities to the table. And basically, it's important that you've been doing this for such a long time so you can analyze, okay, this is missing, this is what we need. And yeah, just guide the new generation and see how things gonna unfold, if we have more women teaching dancehall, if we learn from the source more often, right? And how our personal development as a dancers will go, how well the dancehall culture going to be represented in Europe. And I believe this is a big deal, and I'm happy that you started doing it, and hopefully with years to come, it's going to be a different conversation, and we will be just
Yes.
so many amazing Jamaican women teaching every day in Europe. And just excited and hope that people who are going to listen to this podcast just going to start, booking their tickets to Greece and see if they can join. And yeah, this is amazing. I mean, seeing Carlene face to face, like what?
I think everybody would be very surprised on how gentle, smooth, respectful, open she is as a person. In mentality wise and in conversation wise, she is a queen. She is super respectful, talking with a beautiful way to everybody. So that was one of the biggest reasons to really, really want her to be here, because we are super excited and we are admiring so much the attitude nowadays, but we have connected attitude in a bitchy mood.
What
So
you mean?
I feel that women like her, especially her, which is the mom, can give us a very good meaning on what attitude can be in another kind of mood too, which could be sweetness, for example.
I love the idea and I love the diversity. And yeah, just stay true to yourself and you will find your way and your favorite dancers who you will like to follow and learn from. So this is amazing. And I feel like these three women, the girls that you're going to bring to Europe, they do have very different vibe. So it's like everyone will find what they're looking for, right? And
Yes,
it's a good mix.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I feel like we have to wrap it up. It was very, very nice. It was even, I don't know, 1,000 times better than I expected, to be honest. It's not like I expected anything bad, but yeah, I just love that we could connect on some, another level, some deeper level, and dive into topics that maybe I didn't even plan to discuss. I hope and I know that the girls will find it interesting to hear, and know more you and your journey, and yeah, hopefully just, feel more confident and more understood within the dancehall scene. And yeah, this is the main goal, and I'm very happy that we succeeded in it today.
Thank you so much for your invitation and for the appreciation is really amazing from me, as you said a lot of times before, to have this genuine connection with people from dancehall scene that you don't know about their background, but when you start talking about specific topics, you feel that your souls are connected and the both brains can understand what you bring to the table. So I'm very happy for this conversation and especially for the fact that you loved to focus on the mental part mostly, because I feel that they have been going on so many unhealthy conversations, situations, podcasts, links, whatever, that is so amazing to have a healthy place to talk about specific topics, and especially for women in dancehall. So I wish it will go amazing, 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 and I will be watching every single one.